All right. All right, guys. So we have Diamond Marianne Anderson sharing her heart with us tonight. So y'all thank her for taking time out of her night. I think she just finished her team call. So she's hopping on with us now, and I'm so excited to hear from her. We kind of wanted to Marissa actually introduced us. And so like I had known of Marianne and I'd followed her and she's on the leaderboard and all the things and she's a diamond. So duh, we listen no matter what it is, right? And so she's going to share a little bit of her story tonight and talk a little bit about overcoming imposter syndrome and how she is so good at creating connections with people. Because y'all know this is a people business. We're not making connections. We're not doing it right. Right. So y'all make sure you mute yourself. Marissa Lene, I muted you. Um, and so Marianne, go ahead and kick it off for us. And then y'all, if y'all have any questions at the end, type them in the chat towards the end and we'll try to get some of those answered as well. So Marianne, the floor is yours. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, thank you, Brittany. And oh my gosh, so excited to be here, you guys. This is my third call in a row. So it's been a fun Monday night, but I am just so honored. You guys are blowing it up. It's so fun to see the momentum on this team and a new diamond team is just so exciting. So I want to tell you, listen, look through and see who's on. And if you have business builders that aren't on this call, go send them a message, get them on this call, because I have one goal, and that is to help you throw total gasoline on the momentum fire this week as you close out the month. That's right. Who's that? Allie's like, yes, let's go. All right. So I'll share with you guys a little bit about me. Yes, I have been in this industry for a long time. So when I was 13 years old, my mom joined a company and this was, before social media, all of that. I'm 43 now. But they drove pink Cadillacs and went to the top of that company and it changed my whole life. My dad was a minister and we grew up as a, pastor's kid. And so we went from like, the coat closet to being able to shop at, the mall, right? So I saw the power of this industry. And so when I was 18, I joined her team and it was fine until I had 5 kids. And again, this is pre-social media. So we did parties nights and weekends, right? When people weren't working. And that was, like I said, it was all fine until I had 5 kids and I decided, you know what, like that's not going to work for our family anymore. And so we went from a 2 income family to a 1. And I thought it's fine. We're just going to live on love and get on a budget and coupon and it'll be fine. But it turns out here's your month and here's your money. And there's like this gap, right? And my husband and I were kind of looking at each other like, okay, what do we really want, right? So I decided that I was going to become a home decor blogger. I love decor. I love all things design. And that's when everybody was blogging. So I started a blog, This Loud House. And I was not a great blogger. I don't know if we have any bloggers on here, but boy, you are trading time for pennies. It is lots of work for no money. And I found myself on my phone all the time trying to create content. It was soul sucking, basically. It took something I loved and I just was behind a screen all the time. But it introduced me to Instagram and everybody was getting on Instagram in the blogger world. And so I got on Instagram, started This Loud House, and I started following another home decor blogger that started sharing about the pink drink. And I'm like, this is real interesting. So the rest is history. That was Trisha Rager. And I reached out to her after stalking her for 6 months. People are watching. I did not know this woman from the man in the moon, but I watched everything. And I will tell you guys that I did not join Trisha. I did not reach out to Trisha. She was like a senior gold at the time. I didn't reach out to her because of her trophies, because of her title, because of like the money. I reached out to her because of the fire in her eye, because I knew that girl was going somewhere. And I'm like, if I'm going to do this, I need to be with somebody that's on fire. So, are you showing up consistently? Somebody, would a Marianne be able to consistently follow you? And what does that fire look like in your eyes? And so, the rest is history. Let's see, it took me 9 months to go emerald. It took me a year to go sapphire and 2 years to diamond. And my husband is also a diamond, which is exciting. So we're a double diamond family. He retired at 35, and we have this really great life, you guys, but it didn't just happen. We have all of these choices. When I first started, my youngest was still nursing at the time. She's 7 now, and my oldest just turned 18. So I had 5 kids in 10 years. It's just crazy to me. She just signed up as a brand ambassador. So exciting. So I've seen it, like, they've kind of grown up in Plexus, and I've worked this with, I don't know how many of y'all have little kids, but I've worked this with little kids. I've worked this with, you know, elementary, with teenagers, and through every age and stage. And Brittany just getting off the soccer field. All my kids play travel sports. My oldest is a committed D1 lacrosse player, and that never would have happened, you guys, if it wasn't for my Plexus business. We live in Florida, and there's not a lot of lacrosse in Florida. It's basically up on the East Coast. And so we have traveled. It is expensive chasing that dream. And Plexus has paid for that. And so it's not even about the money, you guys. Like, I've made more money than I can ever fathom, millions of dollars. It's about the choices that my family has, and to be able to say, yes, we can hop on that airplane. Absolutely, you can do travel soccer. Sure, you 2 of my kids go to private school, able to pay for that. So I just want you to know that life is not a dress rehearsal. We get one shot. What do you really want to do? And this is the only industry, you guys, whether you're going to be, I don't care if you're a lawyer or a physician or whatever fancy pants job you have, if you don't show up, you don't get paid, right? This is the only industry where your effort compounds, where you're almost working yourself out of a job, right? Because the more people that you help, the more time freedom you have. And
Sorry, Marianne, I accidentally muted you. I was muting everybody else and accidentally muted you.
okay, there we go.
There you
So
go.
this is what I want you to think about. Those of you that have another job, or maybe you don't have another job, maybe you're a stay-at-home mom, and you can look ahead to somebody that, maybe you're a nurse, or maybe you're a teacher or whatever. Think ahead to the person that is 65 in your profession that's retiring. Is that exactly what you want? Is that the income you want? Is that the time freedom you want? Because you can absolutely change that if it's not, right? And so I want to talk tonight just about, like, some strategies. I want to talk about, people always want to know from me, like, what is the thing? What is the strategy? And I want to tell you, it's not the how, it's the who. When you know who you are and what you want, you're unstoppable. And I know this team has moved really fast, and you might think, well, oh my gosh, like, I don't know. Am I really a senior Ruby? I don't know. I haven't been in very long. The whole thing of imposter syndrome. Listen, guys, if you know who you are and what you want, the peanut gallery and all of that doesn't matter. And sometimes you have to put blinders on and just focus on those 2 things. It is always 90% mindset and 10% skill. Always, always, always. And even to this day, it'll be 7 years that I have been in Plexus next month. I am more focused on keeping the fire alive than anything else, because I know I'm going to attract the men and women into this business that are leaders, that are passionate when I'm on fire. And so I want to ask you, who are you? Write it down. Who are you? What makes you tick, right? You don't have to be like anybody else. And I love that about this business, because I am, I'm in my Lululemon right now. Like, I am always in, yoga pants and my hair is usually up, and that's just me. Like, I'm a sports mom. I love that. That's what I'm into, right? And what do I want? I want choices for my family. I want to be able to set them up. I want to be able to dream, right? Who are you and what do you want? That's what matters. And when you can literally like blink, like you blink and you can see what you want, you can visualize what you want, that's when the magic happens. Because then it doesn't matter how many people tell you no, how many subscriptions are turned off, how many times your dream team member, decides maybe this isn't their thing. None of that matters, because you're looking for people that want to get healthy and are looking for an opportunity. And if they don't fit in those two categories, they're just not your people, right? And you know who you are and what you want. And so I want to share this with you guys. There are really four things, four levels of belief that I feel like we have to have to really set our soul on fire. Think back when you first started, and I see this all the time. Like, when you first start, you don't know anything. Like, all I did, y'all, was sell triplex for literally 2 years because I didn't know anything about any other product. And so I just sold the triplex. I didn't even sell hunger control triplex. I sold microbiome because that's all I knew. And I was just on fire and I was just excited, but it didn't matter. And we've all seen those new people that come in, and you might have been one of them. And you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know anything about the product, but I'm excited. And all of a sudden, these customers, you're attracting these people to you, right? And it's because of these four things. So there's four levels of belief in this business that I really feel like you have to be in the right mindset. And number one is with the products. And we say that all the time, but when is the last time you have had an experience with the products? So, like, an experience to where you're like, oh, these products are amazing, right? So I will tell you guys, in 7 years, I had never really used Metaburn. Isn't that funny? Never. And I'm 43, and all of a sudden I'm like, huh, my metabolism is just not functioning the way it was. What is happening? And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try this Metaburn stuff. And let's just see, guys. I'm having an experience. I'm having a love affair. I know, right? How do I live, Allie? I don't know. I am having a love affair with Metaburn. You best believe that my belief in the product is a different level. So I show up different on social media. I show up different in conversations. I'm attracting different people because of my energy, right? Because of my belief. Because I'm like, you guys, yeah, you guys have to try this. So I'm going to all my friends that are my age and I'm like, listen to me, right? So we have to have belief in the product, but it has to be like an experience. I don't know, maybe you need to get on the restore train or something. You need to like do another reset, but you got to be like, you got to have like deep down these products, right? Okay. Number two, in the business opportunity. If you don't understand network marketing, you guys, oh my gosh, you got to understand network marketing. We are not building a business. We are building people, and the people build the business. And I will tell you, when I first started, all I did was chase points and orders. And I mean, I was adding, I don't even know, 40, 50 level ones a month, chasing orders, chasing them, chasing them, chasing them. And then I realized that, oh, if I don't build people, I'm not going to have a super stable business, and I'm working a whole lot harder than I have to be, right? And so I want to challenge you to look at your organization, and I want you to say, do you have people that are coming with you? Because this opportunity, you guys, this business opportunity is so ridiculous. It will never, ever, ever compare to affiliate marketing, to anything else out there. We aren't slinging links. We are building something. And in building something, you're going to have, it's like every leader, you are a franchise owner, and every leader on your team is a franchise. That's how you have to look at it. So it's like you're owning a McDonald's or a Chick-fil-A, right? And then every leader that you bring in is another Chick-fil-A and another Chick-fil-A, right? It's huge. So the business opportunity. Do you understand network marketing? Are you chasing points or are you building people? If you build the people, the points will be there. Right? And it was always my goal to hit 10,000 points, right? That was like my big goal. And my husband and I both hit 10,000 points this year. And it wasn't chasing that 10,000 points. We hit it on both accounts, building people. You got to build people. Okay. All right. Number 3 is leadership. You have to believe in your leadership. You guys have insane. Marissa, Brittany, I know there's some other leaders on here because you guys are commenting on here, but you got to get in tight with your leaders. You got to believe in them. You have to trust them. You know, I trusted Trisha. I said, you just tell me what to do. Like, I listen, I trust you. You got to trust your leader. You have to realize that, like, she's gone before you and she knows what she's talking about. Don't reinvent the wheel. You got to believe in her and you got to believe that she can take you where you want to go, right? And then number 4, you have to believe in you. Because all this other stuff doesn't matter if you don't believe in you. None of it matters. And somebody that I really respect, that this kind of 2 years ago, I heard this phrase and it really changed a lot of things for me. Daniel G said, you cannot outperform the thoughts in your own head. And I'm one of those people, like, on the outside, I'm not ever going to be negative. Heck no. I am glass half full. I am positive. But inside, I'm thinking the thoughts. I'm beating myself up. I'm messaging the scary person going, oh, please answer. Oh, please, I need a runner on my team. Oh, please be the one. Please, please, please. In my head, right? You cannot outperform the thoughts in your own head. And so if you're going into a chat and you're thinking to yourself, oh, it's been such a crappy month. Oh, I haven't earned my pickleball set. Man, would you please just sign up so that I can earn my pickleball set? You're not, excuse me, you're not saying that, but you're thinking it. You're thinking it. And guess what? They can feel it. They can feel it. You have a biz builder on your team and you're like pouring your soul and your gizzard into them and they're not moving. And you're trying to be positive and you're going in there, but you're thinking to yourself, what's wrong with you? Why aren't you moving? They can feel it. You can't outperform the thoughts in your own head. And so at the end of the day, this is what matters. And people used to say that to me and I'm like, that is just hocus pocus, like whatever. I'm just going to go do the work, send the messages. But guys, you can send the messages all day long, but you can't outperform the thoughts in your own head. And so I want you to think about tonight as you are ending this month, right? And I want you to realize, like, we have leaders retreat coming up, which is super exciting on the 1st. That qualification, yes, we get retention and all of that, but it starts right now. It starts tonight. Because if you don't have momentum September 1, it's going to be real hard to earn it. And how do you build momentum? You build it on a Monday night after this call, doing the things, right? So whether you're on track for your goal or not, know that the momentum for that starts right now. And so what I want you to think about as you're kind of closing out, we're closing out the summer, we're going into a new season. I want you to think about who you are, what you want, and what are the variables that are blocking you from what you want. Is it your head? Is it your work ethic? Is it imposter syndrome? Is it your inability to connect with other people? What is it? Do you need to be more teachable? But go ahead and just be raw and real with yourself and say, okay, what are the things that are blocking me from what I really want, right? Because it's all fixable. It's all fixable, you guys. This is a people business. If we have conversations, we have business. If we don't have conversations, we have no business, right? At the end of the day. And so, what are the things that are blocking you from who you are and where you really want to go? And what are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? Because we all have a choice, right? And Brittany and Marissa like can motivate you all day long, but at the end of the day, you really have to say to yourself, am I gonna do this or am I not gonna do this? Am I gonna go all in or am I not gonna go all in? Because if you're all in one day and not all in the next day, that's hard. That's not very fun, right? But it's really fun, and there's so much freedom in deciding I'm going to make this happen. I don't know how. I don't have all the skills. I don't have all the answers. I'm super busy. I don't know how I'm going to fit it in my schedule. I honestly like I'm having a lot of self-doubt right now, but I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to figure this out, right? Because when you're in that mindset, all of a sudden, guess what? You find the prospects. You find the business builders. It just starts to happen. It's magic that way, right? So, 4 levels of belief: products, business opportunity, leadership, and then you. And, honestly, you guys, I will tell you, and I'm going to end with this. And if y'all have questions, you can ask them. The best way to build belief in yourself, the best way, do you guys know what it is to get into action. That's the best way. How do you get good at connecting with people? You start trying to connect with people. How do you get good at helping somebody build a business? You start helping somebody build a business. You got to get into action. And so, excuse me, I shared something with my voice today, but I shared something with my team tonight, and I'm going to share it with you. And it's called PRO, P-R-O. If you'll just do this on repeat, and then you teach your people how to do this on repeat, guess what's going to happen? Duplication is going to happen. Okay, PRO. P stands for pink drink prospecting. You have to constantly be prospecting. Who are you talking to about pink drink? Every day, every day, every day, every day. And I want to challenge you to have prospect 5 new people about the pink drink every single day. Another training I was watching today, and if you're like, I don't know how to prospect. Okay, so prospecting is 3 things really quick. Number 1, you say hello. Number 2, you give a compliment. And number 3, you ask a question. So if I'm watching Brittany's stories and I'm like, hey, Brittany, oh my gosh, girl, that headboard is so cute with that nail head. Where did you get that? Do you have the link? I just prospected Brittany. Boom, I made a connection. And I do this, y'all, on stories all the time. I was sitting at my daughter just joined a new soccer team, and I was sitting there, I'm pulling out my crusty old chair to sit in, the like folding chairs that we all have, the camping chairs. And this mom pulls out this like Mac Daddy chair, and I'm like, what? Where did she come from? And so I was like, hey, I'm Helen's mom. Nice to meet you, whatever. That is a nice chair. Where did you get that? Boom, new contact, prospected her, pulled my phone out. Ooh, let me send you a friend request on Facebook. There are people everywhere, guys. So every day we have to be pink drink prospecting. Number 2, we have to, oh my gosh, what is number 2? We have to, I can't even think of the word, but basically you have to follow up. You have to rotate back. Maybe that was the name. I don't remember. Anyway, you got to follow up with people, and I'm going to remember it. You have to go back to the people that you prospected. And then O is opportunity. And so every week I am pointing people to the opportunity. I'm going back to customers and I'm sharing the opportunity with them. And I'm sure that, and yeah, I can't remember what my R was. Oh my goodness, this is what happens when you do a 3. See, you too can be a double diamond and not remember your stuff. But basically it's a word for follow-up, and I can't remember. It'll come to me. But every week I'm pointing people to the opportunity. I'm having customers, we do, like, I'm sure you guys do stuff like this, where opportunity Zooms, right? And if you could do your own. And so every week I am pink prospecting, I'm following up, and I am sharing that opportunity. I'm pointing people to that opportunity over and over and over and over again. And then I'm teaching other people how to do it, right? So, y'all, that's really all I have to share with you. I hope that this helps you. I want you to know, if you're new and you've really blown up fast, keep going. Don't listen to all the other stuff. Keep going. Keep going. I remember when I first started, everybody's like, how'd you do it? And I'm like, I don't know. I just kept going. And my goal is to be diamond in a year. I didn't quite make it. I made it sapphire in a year, but I didn't listen to anybody else. I knew who I was and I knew what I wanted, right? And you know, you guys can do this. Make connections with everybody. It's not about slinging links. It's about building relationships. You want to be more relational, less transactional. Let's go, Madeline. Yes. So I don't know if you guys want to ask any questions. I'm happy to answer them, but I'm excited for this team. You guys are blowing it up, and it's fun to watch.
I love that. That was so good. Everybody was like constantly in the chat. I needed this call. Wow, this is good. Preach, amen, like all the things. So we're all bowing right now. Double diamond, we're all listening, right? And like Marissa and I tell you guys all the time, look, she's a double diamond and she doesn't even remember what her acronym stood for. We're not perfect. We're not perfect, y'all. We make mistakes too. So y'all like make mistakes and then you're like,
Revisit. It's revisit. Oh my gosh.
revisit. There you go. See, there you go. I love how she was talking about though, like the fear and worrying about what other people think and all of the things because like there we do have a lot of new leaders that have flown through the ranks really quick and then the other people on our team that are maybe like stuck at a rank for a bit and they're like what did you do and then they're like I don't know what I did. I just like you said I just kept going type deal. And so it was funny, like you literally said like the word fear, and I was like, I just started a new devotional in the Bible app, and this morning's devotional, I want to read it really quick, was like perfect because it is about mindset and like you were talking about being able, you can't outperform your mind, but like our mind is such a powerful thing. You guys know that. Like you start believing something or you hear something enough you can't hit that rank or it's a scam and all of these other crap excuses that we hear about what we do in network marketing, you start to believe it, right? And so it literally said, mathematically speaking, it doesn't make sense to worry. Psychologists tell us that roughly 30% of what we worry about never even happens. Another 30% has already happened. 12% is about unfounded health concerns, and an additional 20% involves worrying about the little things. That leaves only 8%. Think about that. We worry 92% of the time for no good reason at all. It's killing us. What is the answer? And then they said, do not worry about anything, but pray and ask God for everything you need, always giving thanks. And we know that. We know that verse, right? We grew up hearing that verse over and over and over again. But I was just like, oh, that's so true. Like you see things happen, or you're like, I really want to push for Senior Ruby. Like I know Allie was probably shaking in her shoes, sweating like crazy before she made her post tonight about how many orders she was from Senior Ruby. And she's worried, what are people going to think? She's probably like, that's a lot of orders. I don't know if that can happen. And it's just all the thoughts start going through your head, right? And then you're like, I don't think I can post this. Or you contemplate taking it down. Or now Allie's probably thinking, if I don't hit this, what are people going to think of me? Right. But instead, if she doesn't hit it, guess what? She's that much closer to hitting it next month, and she's going to get double credits for the cruise. So there's a reason why things don't happen in our timing, it's God's timing, right? And so I loved, like, literally as soon as you said the word fear, I was like, oh, ding, ding, ding. Devotional this morning was so good. So I wanted to share about that because I know we got a bunch of worry warts on our team. I'm one of them too. Like I will literally make myself physically sick. Y'all know, you've been at retreats with me. I get stressed out, I get sick, right? I'm working on it. So does
Hey,
anybody?
Brittany, I have a question for
Yeah.
Marianne. I'm driving, so y'all can't see my face. I'm almost home. I'm coming home from gymnastics, Marianne. So when you said that we're all over the place, I feel you. But one of my questions for you would be, for some people, there's a lot of people on here that, you know, kind of question like who they are. Like, I don't really know what I like. I don't really know, like when it comes to reels, like, back then we talked about niche. I'm sure that drove you crazy back when we talked about the niche and like trying to find out, who we are and what we like and what we post about. What suggestions would you give to somebody like that is unsure? What ideas, like where would you start if it were you?
Well, two things I think. One is asking the people closest to you, like, hey, how would you describe me? And, ask people obviously that you respect. Um, maybe in your family, you could ask your upline, close friends, like, how would you describe me? And that's really interesting to do, right? The other thing that I think is interesting is I pay attention to the content I like to consume, because the content I like to consume, that's me, right? And so kind of pay attention, like, what are you drawn to? What are those accounts that you're drawn to? What is that um category, right? So like on TikTok, my whole For You page right now is like Caitlin Clark. It's crazy. So I could talk about that all the time, right? Um, and that's part of what makes you you, you know? So start making a list. Just start making a list and be honest with yourself. I realize that, well, I love home decor. I am not a perfectionist and my home is never going to be perfect, and that's okay, you know?
I love that. I love that. Does anybody else have any questions? Feel free to unmute yourself, type them in the chat. Anybody? Everybody's.
I do have a question.
Jade,
Jade,
get it.
get it. What are some podcasts or books to read that you would recommend for mindset specifically? I know personally that's what I'm struggling with right now, so anything would be helpful.
Well, if you haven't read this book on network marketing here, this one I highly recommend, Built to Last. Super good. And it deals with a whole lot of stuff. You can get it on Amazon, which is great. I'm just kind of looking at some of these books that I have on my desk right now. I love Ed Milet. He's one of my absolute favorites. I feel like he always has good stuff. I listen to John Maxwell's podcast a lot. But those are kind of like my go-tos. I do, like, network marketing wise, I listen to Eric Worre's podcast. He has some really great things that you can learn. I'm looking at my podcast right now, like basic stuff.
Do you mind
But
typing
mainly
his name
Ed
in the
Milet.
chat? Because I'm not sure how to spell that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can you type that name in the chat? Because I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Marianne, would you agree, like, as you were building, I know you said that you went sapphire in a year and all of our mouths dropped when you said that, but would you agree that when you were growing, like when you were a gold, senior gold, that like that mindset stuff that you're talking about is something that you probably see it a lot on your team. A lot of people do struggle with that, especially because network marketing is one of those industries where a lot of people do fail. And so a lot of people are, they have this negativity coming at you with like, oh, well, that's not going to last, or, oh, well, you got to show up and do all this on social media. And it's like, oh, you're fake, or, oh, you're this and that and the other. When you grew through that and you grew through overcoming the opinions of others, do you feel like it got better with time, or do you feel like it got better, like you said, with action, doing the things, and also building your belief in network marketing? Because that's something that I've really done over the last couple of weeks, is like, here I am, a diamond, and I'm just now like really diving into like network marketing and the importance of it, and the beautiful industry that it is, and what it can provide for so many people. But like, for those people that are like Jade, like in that mindset shift of like, I just don't know. Do you feel like that's very common? Is that something that you went through personally?
I feel like it's very common, and I feel like it is the make or breaker. Like, I look at my team and I look at the diamonds and I look at the jewels, and it doesn't, social media doesn't matter. I mean, honestly, a couple hundred well, here, let me just tell you. So my mom joined in July of last year, and she went emerald in 8 months. The woman didn't even know, she's 71 years old, didn't even know how to post on Facebook, guys. Like, didn't know how to do it. How does that happen? It happens because of mindset, and it happens because of connecting. And so I think that, yeah, you got to get your head right, because it's going to be really hard otherwise. And, this is the thing that helped me with mindset. I always thought that like high performers, they just were built different, right? And maybe they made that decision and then they never had to work on it again. But it's the opposite. You're going to have, if you think about, I love sports, right? So, okay, you have Tom Brady, he's the quarterback. Well, he has an incredible defensive line that is blocking out the negativity, that's blocking out people that are trying to sack him. And so I realized really quickly that it wasn't about willpower, it was having things in place to block out that negativity for me so that I could stay focused. So, a couple ways that I did this is I don't tell everybody my hopes and dreams and goals, guys. When I first started, my family, my immediate family was not like, Black Sis. They were like, what are you doing? And so I didn't tell them. They were in their business. I was probably an emerald. And they're like, oh, you're still doing that thing? I only talk, and to this day, I only share my hopes and dreams with people that I know are going to be like, you got this. All right, let's go. And honestly, you guys, that might only be your upline right now. And that's okay, right? But I knew that I couldn't handle the peanut gallery. So I didn't tell the peanut gallery, right? Everybody, people ask you about your business. So I'm always like, it's unbelievable. And it could be unbelievably bad or unbelievably good, but it's unbelievable all the time, right? So I think that's really important. You have to have blockers in place. The second thing that I did that was very important, I did early on, is I realized that I was in control of what I consumed on social media. I follow very few people in Plexus outside of my team because I don't have time to compare. I don't have time. Like, I am very, very careful what I consume on social media. If something makes me feel bad about myself, goodbye, not following you anymore. If something makes me compare myself and make me feel less than, not following you anymore. You have control. So don't just get on there and mindlessly scroll. My mom will always be like, did you see so-and-so's post? I'm like, no, I didn't see it. I don't have time for that. Like, I get on social media to make connections and to work, not to scroll all this craziness, right? So don't just, like, you got to be in control of that. You got to get in control of that, because so much of our mindset issues are because we're consuming all of this craziness, right? And you can choose what you consume. So, yeah.
I love that. That's good. Anybody got anything else? Any other questions?
Oh, Aaron asked, do I post on TikTok? Yes, I do. I'm This Loud House on Instagram. If you guys want to, the main part of how I work my business is through Instagram stories, a little bit on Facebook. And I do post on TikTok, but I can't figure out how to work. I can't figure out how to recruit on TikTok yet.
Yeah.
You gotta follow you. You gotta follow. I don't know. It's like, I can't figure it out.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I've
you
got a
can follow me on
question.
Facebook.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Okay, so I have a quick question then. What would you say for somebody right now, and I probably know what you're going to say, but what would you say right now to someone that's like, okay, I want to earn the cruise. I want to earn this cruise. I want to like go all in. What piece of advice would you give them starting right now?
That's such a great question. Okay. So put a 1 in the chat if you're already a gold or above. Okay. If you're brand new, like, this is easy. It's the easiest to earn if you're brand new. They made it this way. Like, this is for new people to earn this cruise. It's harder. Look at all these people over gold. Okay. So what I would say to do
I
is
think
to
we
help.
have really quick. I think we have 35 golds.
That's
Just
awesome.
golds on our
So
team.
great. So
So,
what you need to do is you need to go help somebody go gold. You need to go help somebody go fast start gold. Every time, that's how I earn it, because I'm a diamond. I can't go gold again. So I go help a new level 1 fast start gold, and that's how I earn it.
you guys hear how easy that is? I'm not the one telling y'all, because I know y'all are going to be asking me to map you out to earn this cruise, right? She just told you, help somebody go gold. Like,
Go earn it.
super simple. Super simple. Awesome. All right. Anything else? This has been so good. Thank you so much for doing this. All right, I think that is it. Awesome. All right, well, we will all see you on the boat then, Marianne.
Yes, sounds good. Thanks you guys for having me.
No problem. Thank you so much. All right, guys, have a good night.